Well, as we jump in here, I want you guys to understand, like, I'm a Lions fan. The Lions stunk it up as usual. Yes, they did. Thank you. And not only did they stink it up as usual, they stunk it up against the Cowboys, which also just gives me the red butt. I don't know. My white homies used to say that all the time. I used to love it. Oh, you're giving me the red ass. I don't know why they used to say it, but they used to say it all the time. And then my one buddy was like, "Bro, because you're dark skinned, your ass doesn't get red, right?" Another story for another time. All right, so yeah, man. Where do we go from here, right? Oh man, so much has happened. Where do we start? NFL Week 7. Hey. Is your team even in the hunt? No, because I'm a Lions fan. That's why they're not in the hunt. But be that as it may, shout out to every team who still has a team in the hunt. Let me get my sound right here. Ooh, yeah. This is beer wide. There it is. Okay, so anyway. Yeah, so the Detroit Lions, they are who they are. They were, how did my man Green say, they were who we thought they were. They were who we thought they were, guys. It was what it was. You don't even have to sugarcoat it. We know who they were. Yeah, it hurts that the Lions haven't been able to produce anything. So, yeah, I find myself in this predicament where, yeah, I want the Lions to do more. Period. I want them to do more. I want them to be more. But the reality of what I want and what's happening are two different things. So, okay, so we're not going to take too long. We go jump in, and get out. My name is Coach Malik Call. All the pleasantries are done. This is the after work for me, after kid pickup or after middle school let out. Yeah. For those who do not know, I'm officially a middle school teacher. All right, anyway, we just go get this done. All right, so the Lions, Cowboys, they broke my heart. The reality of it, I know I was critical of the Cowboys for one reason, because with Rush going down, it just puts them in a very good position to really contest Dak, make him do some things that he hasn't done in 4 weeks. And in fairness to the Cowboys, I expected the Cowboys to try to really like let it all out, like Dak didn't leave for 4 weeks. And I will say this. I thought the Cowboys did a great job with Dak coming back, not overthrowing them, not putting them in too much harm's way is inevitable as the game of football. But when he threw the ball 19 for 25, so his average was awesome. He had one touchdown and threw it for over 200 yards. What made the Cowboys favorable is they ran the ball almost 30 times. That's what made them favorable. I said it and I'll say it again. No matter how good your quarterback is, no matter how strong of an arm he is, every time you drop back pass, you are opening yourself up for more margin of error. Now, I'm not saying those who cannot pass the ball do not win in the NFL. Let's start there. If you can't pass the ball, you're not going to win in the league. Period. Period. If you can't run the ball, you're not going to win in the league. Period. 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 And so, shout out to Ezekiel Elliott. I mean, he didn't go over 100 yards, but he was very efficient. 15 carries for 57 yards and 2 touchdowns. And again, Tony Pollard, a nice second back. I think really when you look at it, ever since Ezekiel has gone into injury mode or was getting beat up because it was giving the ball 30 times, 40 times a game, though he is that type of back. At the time, I think they realized they needed a nice number 2. And with that nice number 2, I mean, Tony Pollard just takes a lot of pressure off of Ezekiel. He and here's the thing: he had way more yards than Ezekiel off on not a whole bunch of less carries. He had the ball 12 times for 83 yards. He didn't get in the end zone, but he did do his thing. You cannot deny that. I won't deny that. But where am I going with this? Detroit. That's the only reason we're talking about Dallas. I sound like a Dallas Cowboy hater sometime. Ding! Planners. You're a hater. All right. So look, I'm not a hater, but I'm a Detroit Lions loyalist. And we lost. And being 1-5, I will admit, I thought we'd have gotten 2 games that we haven't gotten right now. So I expected us to be approaching the 500 mark. And I didn't expect us to beat Dallas, but I expected us to be a little bit more competitive than what we were. Now, granted, I know for those who look, the Lions are competitive, but competitive in the first half doesn't mean anything to me or none of the Lion fan base. Partly because the first half, that's Lions football. If you have been a Lions fan for so many years, you expect them to put up a valiant and a relentless effort first half. The second half, it seems to always unravel some way or another. Like, all right, I'm not getting this on. I'm full of cities. I got New York mug, Boston hat, Philadelphia shirt. I'm full of the major cities. And meanwhile, Detroit, which the city I'm from, I had to shelve that hat today. I had to shelve that hat. I had to shelve it. All right. So enough of the jibber jabber. I know. That's why it's my show. I like to talk. All right. Jared Goff didn't do bad. I already know someone commenting like, bro, he threw 2 picks. He should have thrown 4. All right. The reason why I'm saying he didn't do bad, man, Jared Goff, 26 times, that's the number. That's the number. If he's at 30 to 35, I'm okay with that. I would have liked them to be in striking distance to win, and unfortunately, they weren't. It just, oh, man. I'm not often am I speechless, but right now I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. They did everything but put up points. The fumbles in the red zone. I've said it. I've said it. It comes down to 2 things: playmakers, play mistakers. If you are one of the 2 in the 3rd or 4th quarter, you will show yourself. You cannot. My little league coach used to be like, "Yo, bro, you cannot hide on this football field." And he would, I get it. You can't hide on the football field, but like legitimately, like you can. There are people jobs who his only job is to find the tired guy. And once they find the tired guy, he wires it in the headphones. Hey, 64 is tired. We need to bring the pressure to him. Or hey, they just subbed out the slot corner. They bringing in a linebacker. Let's go at him. Like these dudes, they have eyes up there just doing this, looking to see who's weak. Who's weak? Who's weak? Who's it gonna be? Who's gonna fumble? Who's gonna throw me a pick? Who's not sure of their responsibility? Who's not sure where they need to be? There he is. And that's it. And once they find you, it's over. And so that's what the second half of the Lions feels like all the time. And I'm not being critical of the coaching staff. I'm not being critical of the players. I'm being critical of the reality of our history. Wayne Fonts, Caldwell, Marinelli, Mooch. I mean, look, I'm already at 5. Man, wow. All right, let me lead the Lions. Let me get this done with. Okay, yeah, the Lions. Goff went 28 for 26, 228. If he turns those 2 NITs to touchdowns, it would be an if. And if was a fifth, we all would be. Yeah, I know. But here's what I can say. And look, Swift, whether he comes back or not, we do have a pretty good understanding on how to run the ball. But I swear, for goodness, every time we get something going, something happens. Okay, so, all right. I know the baseball season is in full swing. I'm going to take a timeout, not for baseball, but this is why I'm wearing my Red Sox hat today. Okay. Because I got to address a few things. All right, the Red Sox. When I first moved out east, shout out UMass, the zoo, fire your musket. I wasn't privy of the Boston Red Sox curse. It was really, I don't know anything about it. Like, furthermore, I wasn't privy of the Red Sox Yankee rivalry. And so I learned that on the fly. I didn't know any of it historically. I'm a Midwest kid. I'm a Tigers fan. Lions, Detroit, Tigers, Pistons, yada, yada. Red Wings, of course. And so I just was not privy of the Red Sox curse. And so I'm wearing this hat in tribute to the Red Sox curse that I happened to be in UMass when they broke it, when they finally broke the curse. Now, I'm not sure. Now, they say the curse was they traded Bambino to the Yankees, and ever since then, that may be so. My number one issue with the Detroit Lions, as in relation to the Boston Red Sox, is we can't define where the origin of our curse is. We can't even pinpoint it. You can't even say it was the draft of Barry Sanders. We got him by way of trade in the draft. You could argue we shouldn't have drafted Megatron. I can't say it was the draft. So to my listeners, who some people may know, the Ford family owns the Detroit Lions. The Ford family revolutionized the automobile industry. I'm actually working on a writing piece about the automobile industry and how it pertains to Black America and the migration from the Black American South, to the migration of Black Americans going north and northwest, and how the automobile industry played a major factor in that migration because of jobs. And so, look, I'm reaching, of course, because I've lived out east and I've watched the Red Sox be a trash squad. I've watched the Patriots. I grew up with the Patriots being just as trash as the Lions. But in the one moment that the Lions had, like at any point, some glimpse of success, a glimpse, it was the last time you heard of the Dallas Cowboys. Right? We ended the Dallas Cowboy reign of the 90s. And so shout out to my man Ern Champ. If you are a Detroit Lions fan or football historian, do yourself a favor and YouTube the last playoff game that the Detroit Lions won. Not the Matt Stafford game. We went to the semis. And we beat the Dallas Cowboys. Never forget it. Emmitt Smith versus Barry Sanders. The one, the two, who's the best back in the country in the NFL? Who's the best all-time running back? That was the deal. And I remember it like it was yesterday. I was walking to school and we had popped Dallas. I was like, oh, all we got to do is beat them Redskins. Formerly known for all of my millenniums, the Redskins are now the Commandos, the Commanders, and the Contras. Okay, so anyway, that was the last time we won a meaningful playoff game until, what was that, 92? 2022. 30 years. 30 years. And so 30 years later, the Cowboys are still a relevant team. And the Lions haven't yet to be seen in the playoffs. Everyone knows that one playoff thing. It was like, did we make the playoffs? Did we? And we fired Coach Caldwell. So that is my Lions cry out history and why I'm wearing my Red Sox hat, because I need us to break the Ford Motor Company curse, right? Because the Ford started the Detroit Lions. They moved them downtown from the Palace of Auburn Hills and like, oh no, Pontiac Superdome. And now my man Ern said, bro, how many NFL teams have never been to a Super Bowl? I'm like, wow, bro. How many never been to a Super Bowl? He's like, yeah, and don't count franchise teams. So I pose you that question, if you can even think about it. How many teams in the National NFL, National Football League, have not ever been to a Super Bowl appearance, have never made a Super Bowl appearance? Obviously, you know, it's my Lions. That's number one. But it's two other teams out there. I think maybe three, total five. And so shout out to anyone who knows that. Put it in the chat. Go ham. Let's see who know they football. But why did I bring this up? Is that's a curse. That is a curse if I've never seen a curse. Because the NFL was structured for every team to be able to draft a player that will help them compete for a Super Bowl. The rules are dictated to where every team should equally have an opportunity to compete for the Super Bowl. Be that as it may, those rules do not seem to apply for the Lions because I think we have some form of the Boston Red Sox curse that they had in baseball. We got that in football. And so whatever we got to do, we got to pray, do some seance. No, the seances may make the curse worse. Okay. Whatever we got to do, I'm calling out to anyone who knows Detroit history on what could this curse be in which why the Lions can never seem to prosper on any level. So to all of my Michiganians, who happen to be in Maine, all my Lions fans who happen to be in Maine, and all of my Detroit people. If you know the answer to that, please, by all means, educate me and my people, and I'll send me the link. I will go in forth and discover and research and bring it out to the people as we catch up with Coach Sports Talk. All right, okay, I'm off my soapbox. That's it. So we got to figure out what the curse is that's stopping the Lions from prospering on any level. I cannot understand why. I just don't understand it. Oh, my man Curtis Bundles, my man Curtis Blow. So Curtis Blow says, he says, yeah, man. Lane was the one who put the curse on the Lions 50 years ago. Curtis Blow. You gotta, hey, someone gotta get some more information on that. I don't even know who you're talking about. Who is Lane? And it was 50 years ago. Wow, my man, that's what I'm talking about. If you know who Lane is, or if you have any ideas on why we have not broke this Detroit Lion curse, I need to know. I'm a praying man. I'll take it to the altar for us. Come on. All right, we're gonna keep it rolling. All right, so all right, we also got to talk Tom Brady just because, man, I had a conversation with my brother about what does it mean to try to walk away from football if you still feel like you got it in you. Whether you still have it in you or not, you still feel like you got it in you. What does that look like? And I said, it looks like Tom Brady. Like, look, man, they're not going to let Tom Brady end up like, he is not going to be the poster child of he played too long and some freak accident happened. The league has already come to a consensus of protect this dude, okay? Now, do I think players are going at him like he grandpa? Let's not hurt grandpa. No, that's not happening. But what will I say about the Bucs other than them losing to a pretty bad Panthers team? The Panthers fired Coach Rule, which whether you think that was cool for not after giving him a big contract, I've never been like, I'm not calling for Coach Campbell's job at the Lions. I'm a fan. I'm not calling for nobody's job. The coaches that I grew up watching, they were only successful because they gave the coaching staff at least 4 years to figure out what they needed, how to operate and communicate with the recruiting department. Today, man, you need to dang near have Harry Potter's wand, expect petroleum on everybody, and we move fast and no one can tackle us. And you just slide off because of the petroleum jelly on you. I don't know. I would have definitely messed up the wand and the little words that go with it, so I made up my own. Expect petroleum all over players so you can break free and not get tackled. That's what it would take. Almost some type of magic spell you need a magic spell to get this man Tom Brady off the field. And you almost need a magic spell if you're an NFL coach coming in to take over a team. I don't care what the team looked like before you got there, whether they won a Super Bowl, whether they never won any games. Like, no one cares about a plan. People only care about the quick hit. And unfortunately, who's to blame? I don't know. Maybe the fan base. Maybe dudes like me getting on the mic talking about the game outside of talking about the game and players and coaches outside of the week that they played. Maybe that could be it. But Tom Brady, man, look, he's a GOAT. He's one of the best players to ever do it. I don't think we'll ever see anything like that again. Be that as it may, 3-4. Look, in that league, you don't need to be anywhere but 3-4. He'll get the wild card, and when he get in the wild card, maybe they make a run, maybe they don't. But the reason I'm talking about the Carolina Panthers, why, Coach? Can you get to the point? I sure wish I could. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Um, so Coach Rule um, gets fired from the Panthers, and um, yeah, after a 1-4 start, they fired this guy. 1-4. Who else is 1-4 in the league? Anyone trying to fire Bill? Granted, I understand. I understand Bill got earned credit if that's what you think. If that's what you even said to me, I even get that. All right, but yeah, I feel a few ways about this because why do I feel a few ways about this? 5 games into a year where not only you give this man a bigger contract, 5 games you let this dude go. 5 games into, in fairness, I'm not even sure, like, because I know a few coaches on that staff. Coach Phil Snow, the defensive coordinator over there, who was killing it at Temple, for him, went back to the NFL. I worked with him when he was with the Lions. He was the linebacker coach with the Lions. Kept going, got back into college, went back to Temple, had Temple defensive ball, and then Coach Rule jumps to go to Baylor. He goes with Coach Rule to Baylor, which was interesting. I almost jumped on that train to go to Baylor. But be that as it may, they fired this dude, man, 5 games in. My man, and they fired his whole group. They fired Coach Foley, who's a guy, Hofstra guy. Shout out Coach Foley. I hope you're doing well. Who's a special teams guy. Fired his defensive coordinator, Phil Snow. Yeah, man. I like to fire the people that he brought in, to fire him after signing a 7-year, $62 million contract. Man, bro. Does leadership matter anymore? Does a process and circumstance consider the decision that you will make as a leader or the job that you take as a leader? Yeah, man. I think as a ball coach, all you sometimes have is your reputation, not your wins and losses. I don't even think those rings. I have 6 championship rings that I could probably tell you I have not worn 6 times. So they just collect dust. So even the accolades don't even stick with you other than it being a mantelpiece, a cocktail party piece where you like, oh, hey. Oh, you mean this fatty right here? Yeah, that's from the championship in 2015. This one is 2012. This one's 2017. I could keep going, but that's not my point. Championships don't mean they'll keep you. Pouring into the players social emotionally certainly doesn't mean they're going to keep you unless it produces wins. Lastly, a bad loss could get you kicked up out the seat. Embarrassing loss, which suggests you didn't have your kids ready to play. You didn't have your guys wired, locked in, motivated. Again, I also believe that moving a football team emotionally versus moving a Fortune 500 are 2 different pieces. And unfortunately, the owners and the powers that be see the leadership as they see the leadership in a Fortune 500. Yes, there are crossovers in the leadership of a ball coach on a football field to a Fortune 500. But the difference is in your Fortune 500, you don't have dudes running into each other. The difference in your Fortune 500, you're not expecting them to come out of a game banged up, but being ready to go again. Now, mentally, you may expect that of them, but physically, you don't expect that of them. So, some of the characteristics of coaching leaders and warriors and gladiators require more than a magic phrase. It requires more than a mantra, though it could help, but it requires discipline and training and understanding and teaching. And it requires a whole host of things, which I will boil down to 5 things: trust, respect, empowerment, compassion, and humility. Those are the 5 things that are a must as a football coach to be successful. And the reality of it, trust requires time, which they not giving nobody, cuz they ain't giving nobody no time. So trust, whoo, respect requires time because you're going to have some misunderstandings about what's disrespectful and what's not disrespectful. And so that requires time. That's out the window. Choo! Compassion. No, wait. Empowerment. Now, empowerment takes time, but it is a little bit, it is expedited differently because encouraging people can empower people for short moments, but to empower people for a long time, you have to get to know them, which requires, again, time. That's out the window. Choo! That's gone. You don't have that. No, you don't get none of that. No, you don't get none of that. So nobody don't care about your compassion, cuz. Hold on, let's see what we got here. Right? We have a call in. We have a caller calling in. Oh, we got our first caller calling. You don't know nothing about that Spike Lee dance, do you? Hey, you don't know nothing about that Spike Lee. What movie? You don't know nothing about that. Do the right thing. Yay! Guess what? You are a winner, and we have absolutely nothing. Yes, it's do the right thing, people.
So thank you for letting us interrupt. I'll go now. It's a daddy daycare situation, but I think we can figure it out.
No, welcome to my life, guys. Welcome to my life. Hey, I'm just telling you. My life, my life, my life, my life in the sunshine. Y'all don't know nothing about that song. All right, we gonna get in and out of here. I know. I like talking to you guys, man. I don't really have much to say, and when I have to say it, I say it. So it can be said and it can be done. All right. So yeah, they fired my man Matt Rule. Now here's the kicker. Now why are we getting into him? Because So yeah, man, I don't know where to go with this, guys. Like, all right. So the only reason, here's the thing that I can't speak to. They fire Matt Rule, but we have, and for those who may not know, we have a coach, interim coach, who is a coach of color. Now, I normally don't talk politics, and be honest with you, being a black football coach means absolutely nothing if you're no good. Like, no one cares. No one cares about your race in athletics. You either can do it or you can't do it. But But all of the decision makers that put people in place, unfortunately, are not always athletes, not always a part of the game. So they see the game from a Fortune 500 leadership landscape. And in fairness, how many billionaires you think know black people or not black people, black football coaches personally, where yeah, I don't know where I'm going with that. So let me get out of there. So anyway, my man Steve Wilkes. Man, I know Steve. I know Coach Wilkes, but I ain't even gonna get into that. Former HBCU head coach, coach of color, interim head coach. He beats Tom Brady. He also beats another coach of color, Coach Bowles. And to be quite honest with you, who cares? A win is a win. Him being a coach of colors just happens to be. But I will say kudos to the Panthers for making him the interim. And he comes by way of the HBCU ranking. Shout out Eddie Robinson, one of the greatest coaches of all time. But the point in that, I spoke to the trust, the respect, the compassion, the empowerment, and the humility. Coaches will never get enough time to instill those 5 fundamental foundations to lead a group of 80 to 56 men into a competitive physical altercation game and think if you don't get it in 1 year or 2 years, it's over. So much happens in these young men's lives and in these coaches' lives. The fact that you think all they have to focus on is this game is so short-sighted on the fan, on the viewer, and on the personalities and broadcasters who speak about the game, which I think is causing mass exodus of coaches who have been there for a year, 2 years, and they just starting to get the formula together or the mantra or the messaging together for the organization. And so whenever you fire a guy after giving him $64 million, I think it speaks less about the guy and more about the organization. And it's so hard to keep going on this without getting a call from my lawyer. Yeah, all right. So we gonna keep rolling and get back to the football piece because I know that's why we even on here. Okay, so the Browns push the Ravens to the top 10 2023. But unfortunately, right now, the Doodoo Browns just haven't figured out their chemistry. How about the Cardinals? That little boy Kyler Murray down there doing his thing. I would expect Kyler Murray and company to figure it out. Look, they can put up points, but in the NFL, everybody has an idea and a game plan to beat you. Stop acting like the other coaches or the other players do not get paid to play, practice, and scheme. Like a player still can be a good player and have a bad year. How much grace are we giving players to have mistakes but recovery? In the NFL, it means not for long, so there's your answer. All right. Now, I talked about everybody I want to talk about. The Titans got it done versus the Colts, 1910. The G-Man. I told y'all, genuine juice always wins. It lasts longer. Be genuine with your boys, man. Genuine juice lasts longer. And the Giants beat the Jags 23-17. And I'm not down on the Jags. Sunshine over there figuring it out. He's had 2 head coaches, 2 offensive schemes in 2 years. How about let me give you your boss right now, and then I'm gonna replace him right after he grinded your tail about them TPS reports. And then he's gonna get replaced. A new boss gonna come in and tell you all the TPS reports he had you doing was you were doing it wrong. Now you need to do it this way. And before you can even get it right and you messed up your first TPS report, he in there talking about, yo, I told you I can't keep you here and you keep doing these TPS reports wrong. That's how we're treating quarterbacks. And that's also how we're treating coaches. You don't like it when we go in your job doing that, do you? You don't like that at all. Nobody don't like that. All right. So anyway, the Packers. Everybody's shocked that Mr. Rogers lost to the Commandos and the Commanders and the Contras. Look, look. I've said it and I've said it over and over and over and over again. On the Mannix Brothers, I've said it. On the Big Jab, I've said it. On BigJab.com, I've said it. On the Mannix Brothers, at Mannix Brothers IG, I've said it. Mr. Rogers is a player, but they do not have enough players around him, and they are not running the ball at an efficient and high enough rate for Mr. Rogers to be magical, to be a Jedi. I see you, baby. I see you with your Jedi cloak. I love the Jedis. I like the dark side better, but I understand that the Force all works to the good to he who understands. Yeah, all right. So the Packers lose to the Commandos. AJETS. Yep. They got it done 16-9, and I can't say it enough. My man, coach, is a Michiganian. He's from Dearborn. If you think I'm lying, look it up. Anyway, keeping it rolling. The Raiders, I told y'all the Raiders were going to make a run. Yes. Did they beat the Texans? Yes. Did they beat them good? Yes. 38-20. Now, the Chargers. I don't know why the Chargers lost to the Seahawks, other than they lost to the Seahawks 37-23, which was outrageous and ridiculous. Shout out to the Kansas City Chiefs and the 49ers. They battled it out. Very similar offenses. If the 49ers are clicking like you've seen them click, but unfortunately, they have cursed their season by all of that offload and Jimmy talk. And whenever you start talking offload in your quarterback publicly or privately, it's contagious. It's contagious, bruh. If you start talking about your quarterback publicly or privately, whoever you said it to privately is going to say it to somebody publicly. And now rumors are started. And now he's preparing for a season that he's not sure he's going to play in. Don't do that. That's the only reason the 49ers are struggling, because they got enough talent. I like the head football coach over there. But unfortunately, the Chiefs routed them 44-23. Shout out to my man JY getting a touchdown. The Steelers unfortunately lost to the Dolphins. Shout out to Gia and Coach Tomlin. I don't even want to hear that Coach Tomlin hot seat crap. All right. Let's get to the Monday night deal so I can get off of here before my wife and them blow me up again. Like, hey, daddy, you didn't handle your daddy do list, your coach daddy daycare list. You right, I didn't, because I had to catch up with coach. And if I can't catch up with coach, how you go catch up with coach? You can't. So the Bears, they finally got it done. Why did the Bears get it done versus Bill Belichick? And yes, I'm a big fan of Bill Belichick. I think Bill Belichick will outcoach half of the coaches in the NFL with his third string quarterback. He's done that. You do know that. He's done that. Like, he's covered just about every game. So that right there, my friend, is a sign of him outcoaching the other coach. Now, getting outcoached does not necessarily mean you're going to be victorious, because you may not have enough bullets. Like, the reality of it is you run out of bullets sometime. And you could equate that to running out of time on the clock, because I've never lost a game. I've just run out of time. It's a game. I just run out of time. What I'm going to talk about. My man, Justin Fields, my man. Unfortunately, that is Bill Belichick's nemesis. Will always be a quarterback in his impromptu ability to run. And unfortunately, I don't. Bill Belichick has conceded to schematically. He has just conceded to, if you're going to beat me running the ball at the quarterback position, that's what you're going to do. You're not going to beat me throwing the ball, and you're not going to beat me handing the ball off. Now, if you beat me on a scramble drill and he go for 40 yards, so be it. I'm not controlling that. But that's not why. That is why the Patriots lost. Yes. The reason the Bears won, they ran the ball, handed the ball off 30 times. That's why the Bears beat the Patriots. And with the 30 handoffs, here, you guys know I love time of possession. You know I love time of possession. Watch this. Chicago, this is the only time Coach Belichick all year, check this fact, that Coach Belichick has lost time of possession. He lost time of possession. Chicago Bears had the ball 37 minutes and 14 seconds. New England had the ball 22 minutes and 46 seconds. Boom. That, my friends, is how the Chicago Bears should play football. Rely on their defense. They can hold people to 14 points. And if they run the ball 30 times and Justin Field runs the ball another 15 times, that is 45 times. And if he throws the ball for a lonely 21 times for 171 yards and completes 13 passes, has one pick and one interception, I think you're looking at a different Chicago Bear ball club. And that is the fact, Jack. Now, I'm also going to talk about the 2 quarterback system. Listen, again, because we're in Patriot Nation, you've been living lavishly. I want to win now. Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Tom. And now it's not a moment that I don't listen to Tom made Brady. Tom made Brady, right? Tom made Bill, and Bill has not done. Listen, people. Anomalies happen. The Patriots, the Bill Belichick and Tom Brady marriage was an anomaly. Tom Brady still playing is an anomaly. Coach Bill Belichick being competitive in every game with a third-string quarterback and a second-year quarterback as his starter is an anomaly. So take your anomalies and be happy. Just be happy that you have a coach who is now, his wheels are turning to what he needs, who he needs to offload, who does he need to give some trade credit to. This is chess, not checkers. So the 2 quarterback system is what it is because you can. You can. Like right now, there's no reason not to play both quarterbacks considering you can. None of the receivers are playing great around either of them. The running backs are hit and miss. And when the defense shows up on top of the offense being efficient and not making mistakes, they would easily be a 4-win. They would easily be above 500 team right now. They're 3-4 and they're still in the conversation. They may beat the Jets. They'll split with the Bills. Like they'll be a wild card team. How far they go in the wild card, who knows? But when you're playing chess, you're willing to see. Look, the Chicago Bears, he has to play again, I think. And if he has to play them, and I don't want to go in the schedule, but if he does, like he'll know what to do to stop a Justin Fields and who the quarterback will be, right? I know it's debatable whether he was really, did he know he was going into that game playing 2 quarterbacks? And for the sake of quarterback controversy, I'm going to tell you, yes, he did, because why not? Mac was playing like crap, and Zappy got us through. And though I drafted Mac Sauce, and I think Mac Sauce still will be a good player. I think Mac Sauce still will be the starter. But in the meantime, I cannot deny the chemistry and the juice that this young Zappy kid has been playing with. And so because this is a team that it could go either way, let me see who show me what you got. All right. That's all I got. I don't know. All right. Here it is. Okay. Okay. All right. And that's my last little thing. Shout out to my man Curtis Bundles. Look him up on Facebook at Curtis Bundles Jr. All right, my man said Bobby Lang. Ooh. Seated with anger as he emptied his locker, the Lions had just traded him, one of the NFL greatest quarterbacks who helped them win 3 championships. This is pre-Super Bowl era, for the prospect of some draft picks. Ooh, ooh, ooh. It was just 2 games into the 1958 season. The Lions were the defending champs, and they simply just traded away the best quarterback in the NFL. And there you have it, people. That officially is where the Lions curse comes from. Bobby Lang. And I've been schooled. I've been schooled. Thanks, my man Bundles, my man Curtis Blow. Grew up with Curtis, the Eminem boys, Manor and Myers. All right, guys, listen, I am Coach Malik Call. This is Catch Up with Coach. NFL Week 7. Listen, I don't know what you do on the weekend, but I definitely do football with a little queso dip and maybe a little Dos Equis or Modelo's. And so, however you do football, do it and catch up with me the week after. Until next time, peace.